Cognitive behavioral therapy. This is a 6-session module, concise, comprehensive, and relevant for managing and understanding chronic pain. Stay tuned.
My name is Roza Assar, and I've been a psychotherapist for approximately 15 years, specializing in individual, couple, and family therapy, ranging from issues such as anxiety and depression, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and quite recently with chronic pain. This is a workshop for people dealing with chronic pain. However, everyone will benefit from stress reduction, which inevitably leads to other physical issues such as chronic pain. So this workshop is for cognitive behavioral therapy, specializing for chronic pain. This will be a 6-module introduction. The first module will be a general introduction to chronic pain and cognitive behavioral therapy for pain specifically. The second session will focus on SMART goals and homework. The third session will be a review of SMART goals and introduction to negative thought distortions. Session 4 will focus on the review of negative thought distortions. Session 5 will focus on the significance of how stress contributes to, perpetuates, and sustains chronic pain and stress management. And Session 6 will deal essentially with exercise, sleep, and nutrition. So I just want to give you a little bit of an overview of how chronic pain affects people, psychologically mainly, as well transferring into physical sensations, as well as a specific analysis of chronic pain, cognitive behavioral therapy for chronic pain. So due to the fact that chronic pain adversely affects many aspects of people's lives, this workshop can provide a guideline as to how to deal with it more effectively in a more conducive way that does not exacerbate the stress we already have in our lives. The objectives of cognitive behavioral therapy for chronic pain are the following. Number 1 is improving sleep patterns and nutrition on an overall basis. Number 2 is dealing with difficult emotional issues, transitions, and challenges. Number 3 is for increasing physical activity and exercise on a regular basis, more of a life goal, not as a transient goal that you want to do for about 2 weeks and let go of. Managing fatigue is number 4. Number 5 is enhancing communication skills with those you live with, those you work with, those you see, and those you communicate with on a regular basis in order to understand and to basically find a common ground on what you're dealing with. And number 6 is becoming more knowledgeable in regards to meditation and mindfulness therapy for chronic pain. First of all, what is chronic pain? Chronic pain can become a vicious cycle. This condition can further create secondary complications such as sleep disorders, anxiety, depression, weight gain, and overall inactivity. Essentially, the experience of chronic pain can adversely impact many aspects of one's life. Coping with chronic pain can become intolerable, thereby diminishing your overall life satisfaction as a whole. It doesn't matter what your chronic pain is, whether it's back pain, whether it's knee pain, whatever the pain may be, to you, to that individual, it can become all-consuming. Not surprisingly, and this would be a surprise to no one who has experienced stress, and no one is exempt from it, people who experience chronic pain have an abundance of stress. So the stress they have exacerbates their pain and depletes them of their mental health. The more pain they have, the more anxiety they have, the more stress they have. The more stress they have, the more pain they have. Cognitive behavioral therapy targeting chronic pain. So what is cognitive behavioral therapy for chronic pain? The basic premise upon which CBT is manifested pertains to altering negative thoughts and distortions and self-sabotaging behaviors that sustain and perpetuate those distressing emotions. So what does all that mean? So the more you think negatively about the pain you have, the more your pain will increase, the more your negative emotions will also increase. For example, you have knee pain, and every time
dreading it, And all you're thinking about is, if I'm going to go up the stairs, I'm going to go down the stairs, I'm going to have pain. That thought of I'm going to have pain becomes controlling and consuming. The more you have that thought, the more pain you have. So, the more negative thoughts we have, our behavior and our actions correspond. So, what do? You don't go up and down the stairs. You sit on your couch. So you're inactive. You're not. You will have more pain. The more inactive you are, the more pain you have. So what happens in that situation is your thoughts control your behavior. I'm going to have pain. Negative thought. Therefore, I will not go up and down the stairs. Your behavior changes accordingly. Over time, you do nothing except complain about your pain to your doctor. So, by altering dysfunctional thoughts and behaviors, our actions can change accordingly. So I'm not saying this is going to happen like that. It's a process, just like with everything else. As your doctor says, it takes about 3 to 6 weeks. In this case, it's more of a life goal in terms of changing your thought patterns. So, if you're going up and down the stairs, you may or may not have pain. So if you were to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go up and down the stairs. I may have pain, but I can manage it. It might hurt a little bit, but I'll still get there. That thought doesn't stop you from going down the stairs. So your behavior changes. You may go down the stairs and you may actually be in excruciating pain, or you may not. The point is that you don't allow your thoughts to control your behavior. So, hence, in order to improve our lives as well as to change our perception of pain, CBT challenges us to adopt a different perspective whereby our pain does not consume or define us. So, bottom line here, when we say perception, when we say perspective, we're not suggesting, people, that you're not in pain, or that your pain is not real, or that it's fictitious, or that it's in your mind, or that it's psychosomatic. You are in pain, granted. We're not going to dispute the existence of your pain, but what I am suggesting and disputing is your perception of that pain. So what am I saying here? Okay, you have back pain and you're supposed to be going on the treadmill for about, 10 minutes a day. Okay? You get on the treadmill and you have a little bit of pain. Oh my God, you get off. Oh, it was horrible. It was awful. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being excruciating pain and 1 being basically nothing. You say it was absolutely horrible. It was a 12. So your perception of the pain controls the severity of the pain. So we're not talking about the actual pain. It's your perception of the pain that changes the meaning of the pain. It has power over you. So your pain is real, but how you deal with it, how you cope with it, how you see it, how you perceive it, what your perspective is with respect to that pain is far more fundamental than the actual pain. Because I just said earlier that your thoughts have control over your behavior. Your thoughts change, your behavior changes accordingly. So if your perception is negative and your perception is that I'm going to be in excruciating pain, I can never get on that treadmill again, I'm going to sit on this couch forever, your perception has now controlled your behavior. So, your pain is real, but your perception of that pain needs to be changed. It needs to be altered so that your behavior is more conducive to your life in terms of diminishing your stress and enhancing your overall activity and your life satisfaction as you go. So, the point of not letting it consume you and define you, you are not your pain. You are not defined by your pain insofar as you allow it. You become consumed and defined by your pain when you allow your perception and your perspective to control and have power over your behavior. You're the one that gives it that power. Therefore, thought replacement is fundamental, paramount, essential, indispensable in order to facilitate the use of more effective coping mechanisms. So you get on that treadmill, you have a little bit of pain, okay, so get off. You go off, you take a little break, you come back, you do 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes. You do 6 minutes, you do 7 minutes. If you get up there and you expect to be perfect and excel and have absolutely zero pain, you will feel defeated. So it needs to be more of a realistic perspective, which we'll get into in following modules later on. So furthermore, CBT may influence our actions or behaviors positively in such a pain that our perception of the pain is no longer all-encompassing. All-encompassing means it no longer consumes your entire being. You have pain, you have challenges, but you're coping with it differently predicated upon your perspective, your perception. So, just to reiterate, cognitive behavioral therapy for chronic pain is essential in order to change your thoughts, your feelings, in order to change your behavior so that you don't become inactive. Because the more inactive you are, the more pain you have. The more pain you have, the more stress you have. The more stress you have, the more anxious and depressed you feel because you're not doing anything.